Get to Old Navy to redeem your Super Cash. Use your Old Navy card in-store or online with your Super Cash to earn double reward points at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Valid 6/2 to 6/10. Excludes gift cards. Double reward points offer subject to credit approval.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, friends, and welcome to a special episode of Conscious Cool Chic Radio with Molly McCord, where we're going to talk about the July 12th eclipse. Now, this eclipse is coming up as the first of 3 eclipses in summer 2018, and we're going to go deeper into the energy signature of this lunation. Now, I was going to do a separate show on all 3 eclipses, and I decided to just focus on one at a time. Isn't that easier to digest? You can say, all right, just give me a date to focus on, Molly. Give me one. So I thought that would be an easier way to share the information and allow you to see what is coming up for you with each eclipse. So this first one, as I said, is on July 12th. Then we're going to have a second eclipse, a lunar eclipse, on July 27th, followed by the third eclipse, which is another solar eclipse, on August 11th. So we are going to be moving through some big energies. July 12th, July 27th, and August 11th. So we have a new moon solar eclipse that is occurring at 20 degrees of Cancer in your chart. You'll look at your natal astrology chart and find where 20 degrees is, and that is where this invitation of a new cycle of energy is showing up for you. And we have the sun and the moon in Cancer. Now, this is a very feminine energy. It's deeply feeling, it's sensitive, it processes things with its emotional sensors. And Cancer is the first water sign in the zodiac. So it's also associated with the first emotional experiences we have, those first emotional imprints from childhood. And this is important to understand because what you're working with could be in your unconscious awareness, meaning this energy, when the sun and the moon come together in Cancer, they activate an energy experience within us that happened many, many years ago. Perhaps when you were 4, perhaps when you were 6, perhaps when you were 8, but something in your childhood about how you first received emotional support. And for most people, this could be through their mother. Cancer is about the mother. It can be in your family, your home environment, and it was basically how you were conditioned to receive and how you felt safe in the world. Cancer is where we are private and internal. It's very receptive. It takes things in. It's very private. So there's an energy here of you received energy when you were younger in your home environment that created your experience of what it was like to share your feelings in the world. And so that's just coming up for everybody, whether they're conscious of it or not. It can activate our fears, our vulnerabilities. We can, through the years, through the decades, perhaps you built up defenses around these vulnerable, tender places if you did not feel loved, nurtured, or taken care of. So it's important to understand that right away this energy has a tenderness to it. If you have any planets or points in Cancer, you understand this. If you do not have any planets or points in Cancer, this does relate to the energy of water signs. But it's important to know that what we're working with, interesting, because I actually feel it as it can be very past life energies of yourself as a mother in another lifetime, of yourself as a child in another lifetime. I mean, this stuff can bring up, I'm hearing trauma, I'm hearing wounds, I'm getting the image of Swiss cheese, which is funny in a way, but it's understanding how we all have holes in our energies that weren't loved, right, that are tender, that need additional care and kisses and hugs, acknowledgement, value. They need to be seen. They need to be held and comforted. That's all the energies that this new moon solar eclipse gets to the heart of. It really gets to the heart of that. But I'm going to explain how and why this is important, because this new moon solar eclipse is initiating a new cycle that begins the next 8 to 9 years. And this cycle of energy is also completing, because the last solar eclipse we had around this point was actually at 19 degrees of Cancer back in July 2010. So in July 2010, something was started for you, wherever this Cancer energy falls in your chart, with that solar eclipse. And it has been completed, or it can even fade away from consciousness. You can fade away. It can be healed. It can be released. You could have worked with that energy fully and completely and be done with it. So that was at 19 degrees. Now it's at 20 degrees, this new cycle that is taking you forward into a new energy field of healing, your heart, your inner child, your ability to be comforted and received and to take care of yourself. And so what I see with this new moon solar eclipse is the image of a maiden, a fair maiden, a young girl who has that beautiful sense of wonder, who believes in the goodness and the kindness of people, and she's compassionate and caring, and her heart is very open. And she's willing to love, and she's willing to share. She wants to have meaningful connections with other people. She wants there to be safe places in relationships. So this maiden energy helps to understand that there is a part of us that has that beautiful sense of freshness with this new moon solar eclipse. So we're going to use this as one of the archetypes of the solar eclipse, okay? So that is the Cancer energy. And the moon and the sun at 20 degrees of Cancer are being directly opposed by Pluto in Capricorn. And if you studied astrology for any time, you understand how powerful that is. Pluto is the most powerful energy because of how it requires us to transform the death and rebirth process, the letting something go permanently, the need to go into those dark places, those hard spots, to find what's ready to be transformed. It's the metamorphosis. It's the understanding that everything is meant to change. I am an evolutionary astrologer, and our philosophy is that your soul's evolution is connected with Pluto. And he was the one who guides you forward, ready or not. But at a higher level, you as a soul chose here to be on the planet at this time to contribute to humanity's evolution as well as to your own soul growth. So we know that everything is in perfect divine order at all times. But this Pluto energy is more about the reality checks of the real world. And it is the power of our responsibilities, our duties, and what we have to tend to and take care of. It's the part of us that is mature and wise and has been through some hard knocks. It's the part of us that doesn't hide, and it knows it has to get out into the world and be useful and give to the community, do something that contributes to where we're going collectively. So this Pluto energy is really strong, and it is really emotionally intense. So this solar eclipse has the energy signatures of emotional intensity, because you have this maiden, this fresh, fair maiden with all her innocence and her open heart, who's being opposed by Pluto in Capricorn. And I forget at times, I admit, but Capricorn is a feminine energy. It's an earth sign. It's the earth mother, Gaia, goddess, the practicalities of life and our responsibilities in our 3D lives. But Capricorn is essentially a matriarch. She's the matriarchal energy. She's the one who understands time and how it takes years to develop certain skills, that there is effort we have to put into what we want, the responsibilities of adulthood, the fact that we have duties and obligations we need to fulfill, and we need to show up and do our work. So Pluto in Capricorn, in this solar eclipse, is maturing us at a very deep soul level. And how I'm feeling this energy is that we are being asked to look at the places where we have held ourselves back, perhaps with innocence or too much trust in other people or too much, it's like a naive energy. And the Pluto energy is saying it's time to mature more fully into the matriarchal energy and to understand that you have both of these within yourself. Now, with an opposition between the sun and the moon and Pluto, there's tension, struggle, power dynamics, control dynamics come up. This is when planets are the furthest away from each other. Very different intentions, motivations, different needs. And so when we have this show up in an eclipse, we're meant to see both sides of ourselves in a new way. Because it's a new moon, it's a new energy coming through, a new cycle being initiated. And it's very significant, my friend. This is a very, very significant solar eclipse because it's working with you at that deep Pluto level. It's going in to other lifetimes. I feel it as karma. I feel it as something that perhaps you can sense it in yourself, even if you can't quite put your finger on it. And so we have this conversation between the sun and the moon in Cancer, who are soft, loving, and kind, and trusting, who want to trust, with the crone energy, the matriarchal energy of Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn, that's saying you must understand more than you've seen before. You must be willing to mature and grow and evolve in a permanent way. And by the way, this might not be comfortable. This might feel like you're being stretched. That's what an opposition does. It stretches us. So there's a stretching energy here that really shows we're entering this whole new cycle of growth. However, good news, because if you're feeling a dread, if you're feeling that oh no energy, we have wonderful support with what you're meant to see in yourself, in your own energy that you didn't see before. And that is with the support of Neptune in Pisces at 16 degrees, which is trining the sun and the moon and sextiling Pluto and Capricorn. Neptune in Pisces is the second slowest moving planet, and it's connected with the spiritual realms, your higher self, everything that we can't see and can't touch. It is about transcending the real world and getting away from too much of the 3D energies and moving and embracing the 5D and higher energies. And when this happens, when we get this support from Pisces, we know that this is in divine timing, that it's all in divine order, and that you are supported in this transformation by your own higher self. There's the higher octave here, that higher energy field that knows everything is in perfect order, whether that's on in the matrix, in the grid, in your own energy field, in your aura. This is the energy to call in to support these new parts of yourself that you're understanding. And I see it as a Merkaba that is shifting and moving into a new light field, if that makes sense. It's like it's shifting into new light. And when something shifts into new light, it can reveal new shadows, new fears, new insecurities and doubts, okay? And then it becomes a new place of knowingness and comfort. And I feel that this is meant to help you surrender and open up to the process of transformation while in human form. So there's an energy here of, okay, so parts of ourselves from other lifetimes are going to come forward with their fears. And I see it as like a little girl coming forward and she's handing you a basket or something, even a scribe, even a book. And it's like this is what she has held in her Akashic records, and she wants to transform them. So it's a very dynamic spiritual transformation across all these lifetimes that are being elevated for your soul's growth. That's how big it is. I mean, truly. And it's a balancing energy because of how both the sun and the moon and Pluto are at 20 degrees. So the two energy, right? The two energy there is a balancing of parts of yourself from other lifetimes that didn't receive the love that they needed. And now as you are maturing in your soul's energy and you're maturing it forward, you're calling up from your own well of spiritual love everything you need. And there's a claiming it for yourself and a claiming it through all timelines and dimensions of time. And it's a cleansing too. It's a purification. And so that is part of the Phoenix rising. I'm getting so many images here. This is like crazy cool. I'm getting the Phoenix rising energy of seeing how you're moving up to this higher place in your own soul's energy with the support of the higher self, but also the support of all of your energies across all lifetimes. So, hey, if that's not big enough, I don't know what is. And then the other energy signature in this solar eclipse is that we have a grand trine in Earth. And so the grand trine in Earth energies are very much the 3D matrix, the physical world, our human selves, our Earth reality. And this energy includes Venus, who is conjunct Sirius, that's an asteroid, at 3 degrees of Virgo, trining Saturn in Capricorn at 4 degrees, trining Uranus in Taurus at 2 degrees. So we have this dynamic grand trine in Earth that is about having the physical capabilities to bring in the resources you need. This supports feminine energy with Venus in Virgo. She brings in the feminine support, the feminine healers, guides, support systems. These are the nurses and yoga teachers and the energy workers. Venus in Virgo at her highest is a beautiful healer of the human body. So we're really meant to be working with our bodies to move this energy through us, through touch, Reiki, acupuncture, yoga, anything that physically works with what your body is embracing and holding right now. And then Venus in Virgo at 3 degrees, trining Saturn in Capricorn at 4 degrees gives you the longevity, the fortitude to stick with it, to focus on less is more, to focus on what I need to do here to make sure these are real changes that are meant to serve me for what I want in my life going forward. It's the long view perspective. And then both energies are trining Uranus in Taurus at 2 degrees, which is opening up new energies in your auric field around self-worth. And I'm seeing this as a blind spot that we've been carrying. You know, Uranus has not been in this energy since the early 40s. And so he walks into this territory, it's like dusty and old, and you forgot this energy was there. And so Uranus and Taurus, I'm getting the image of it's behind your back. There is something that you put behind you, like you put away on literally like it's behind your back, and it's something that you're being invited to turn around and connect with and understand how, okay, it's by your back because it's part of the support. And that makes sense because of how this trines Saturn and Capricorn, which is your backbone and your spine. So you're being reintroduced. Again, this pertains to other lifetimes where you had to give up. I'm seeing like someone had to put the gold aside. Like you had to give up the gold, give up money, give up finances in order to do something else. And so that money or those finances, that energy is still just sitting there for you. So it's the bag of gold is behind your back waiting for you, and the bag can be physically, money and finances, but energetically it's more about deserving, understanding what you deserve and what you can claim. And that the funny thing about abundance is that we can get into the mindset that it's limited because of the programming that we've seen or that's in the patriarchal societies about competition and only a few can be rich or only this kind of person earns money. Or do you know what I mean? Like we have all these misperceptions about what it means to connect to abundance, because the truth is everything in the universe is abundant, and money is part of that abundance. And we think, well, I have to be a certain person or a certain expert, or I have to achieve something, or I need to have a certain status in life for abundance. Like we put all these qualifiers on it. And so what you're meant to see in the solar eclipse is that I came here qualified to be abundant because that's my natural energy. That's part of who I am. So Uranus and Taurus is waking us up to this. Remember, it's energy we put behind us. It's in the blind spot. We just didn't realize it. And so now it has to come forth and come out and get shaken up to get your attention. And so the energy here is saying it isn't about the money. The money will come after you claim that you're already qualified to manifest, to be abundant, to be at that energetic vibration, to hold that frequency, to be that person who understands that everything is abundant, and that can come through unlimited channels. Okay, I'm being reminded to tell you I teach a weekly course on the universal spiritual laws. I started this course in 2011. It's 12 spiritual laws. You get one every week, and it helps you claim this part of your energy that you forget. And it brings in this astrology, it brings in the spiritual teachings, it brings in channeled messages, and it applies it to real-world examples so that when we're talking about something like this, you can understand specifically what, say, the law of transmutation is about, the law of energy, the law of action. There's 12. So I'm being guided to remind you that this is a course that's available for you, affordably priced, by the way, so that you can claim this. Like, we're all meant to claim this part of ourselves, because when you claim it for you, it changes your aura, it rises you up, and then that affects not only the collective energy field, but it helps everyone remember their own divinity, their own power and choices. So it's an opening, like abundance opens us, right? It doesn't shut us down. And we thought there's all the conditioning around, well, money is power, but money is only one part of any equation. And the truth is you're already powerful, and you're reclaiming who you normally are as an energy field, what you are as a soul, the light vibrations, right? So this eclipse has so much in it, and I hope you feel it. I really hope you feel it. This grand trine in Earth is an understanding that you are supported in your physical life, your 3D world, to take the necessary steps. That this isn't just about the spiritual growth and your soul's evolution. It's not just about the intuitive or emotional elements of Cancer. It's showing you that this grand trine is supportive, it's self-sustaining, it's a system that is in place to help you with your next steps as your higher self guides you forward and gives you new energy downloads to make these changes. Because I feel fear in some people. I feel like you're like, oh no. And that is something that you're being invited to work through, because nothing is meant to keep us in that place of fear. It's okay to have a fear, but then you need to move through it. And so that fear is something from another lifetime that is part of your subconscious or unconscious programming in your psyche. And that fear is the doorway. That fear is where to follow, and that fear is where you're going to see the transformation occur. So this new moon solar eclipse is initiating new energies in your field of light, is what I'm hearing. It's in your light field, which is bigger than your auric field. And it's connected with different light codes and soul energies that you're calling in, that we are all collectively calling forth. Now, when these energies happen, yes, we'll see things in the 3D that can stir up some of the other aspects of a Pluto and Sun-Moon opposition. You'll see the power struggles and the standoffs and the oppositional energy show up. But we are above that, especially if you listen to this show. We are above that, and we are the ones who are holding up these higher frequencies, and we're the ones who are directing the energy up. So even if you notice these energies around you in the 3D experience, the fears, again, the power struggles, that's so strong with any Pluto opposition. It's all part of the illusion, and what we are doing is activating higher soul energies, and then we're actually physically sustaining them with this grand trine in Earth. Your body is going to feel different, which is why your body needs to be supported. You could feel a weight loss or a weight gain. You could feel muscle strengthening. You could feel a need to work out. You could feel you have to move. You need to be at yoga much more. It's a very physical energy. You could be ready to take necessary steps to change something in your earth experience, right, in your world. So it is all about a dynamic new change. And ultimately, coming back to the sun and moon in Cancer, which is about the trusting at a higher level, loving at a higher level. I'm actually seeing a well that's eternal. It's like that sense of you're always safe. And feeling into that level of safety, how can you move forward fearlessly with more transformational intention? And then even if you have the fears, that's okay. You still feel that you can move through them. So this, again, is a very big activation of feminine energies, as the fair maiden is invited to claim the other side of her energy field as the matriarch, and to understand how this evolution in your energy field is meant to bring in more wisdom in yourself. And it's about a spiritual maturity. A spiritual maturity where you understand that you are ultimately responsible for yourself, even when you want to mother and be the mother to other people energetically, how you can still give love, but ensure that you're also receiving that love back. You're receiving that love from yourself, from the archetype of your own matriarch, who feels powerful, in control, and honoring of her own self-mastery. So during this eclipse, you could feel both these energies come up. You could feel your innocent maiden who experiences her first heartbreak, and then you could feel the wise matriarch who shows her what she was learning and what to understand. So these would be two good archetypes to witness in yourself when you feel them, when you see them arise. And I feel that this is complete. Okay, this was a totally different message than what I had anticipated. I thought this was going to be much more astrological, but it turned out to be a lovely combination of the astrology and the spirituality and the soul growth. So I hope this brings you comfort, my friend. I hope this gives you something warm and encouraging to connect with. Please know you can listen to this again, and I release these shows early so that you can feel into them and tap into more of yourself and understand how we are really rapidly changing right now. It's rapid. So I'm going to have another episode for you soon that will be about the July 27th Aquarius lunar eclipse, which is occurring at 4 degrees of Aquarius. It's a quite interesting one. I mean, it is not a boring summer, let me tell you that, or a boring winter if you're in the southern hemisphere. We have a lot of dynamic energies. So I look forward to connecting with you soon about the next 2 eclipses. In the meantime, please listen to my weekly podcast and show. You can find that on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, and YouTube. I just started a brand new YouTube channel where I post more astrology teachings. And I'll also have below this show a link to the Universal Spiritual Laws course, because this is information that is really supportive of right now. And I know that many of you are feeling that, and I just want you to know that it's available so that you have a way to work with all these energies and to be the master that you are. Thank you so much for joining me. I am grateful for each of you. I am grateful for your messages. Thank you for everything that you share with me in our one-on-one sessions and through email, as well as your comments. Please know that you are necessary and that you are a really bright light. And I'm just always amazed by how many of us are here on the planet with the shared mission and shared purpose. So thank you for connecting with me. And I'll see you back here really soon for another episode. Namaste.
Get to Old Navy to redeem your Super Cash. Use your Old Navy card in-store or online with your Super Cash to earn double reward points at Old Navy and oldnavy.com. Valid 6/2 to 6/10. Excludes gift cards. Double reward points offer subject to credit approval.